In today's video, we'll explore the 10 items you should buy right now before it's too late. The world is a complex mechanism, governed by the laws of cause and effect, action and reaction. Underneath the shiny veneer of our comfortable modern lifestyles, these principles remain immutable, ever-present, and unforgiving in their implications. What happens in a far-off land doesn't stay confined within its borders, instead rippling through the global network, disturbing balances and causing hardships. It might feel abstract until you reach into the grocery aisle and find it startlingly empty. The ongoing war in Ukraine, climate disruptions, economic shifts, and ripple effects of supply chain constraints all come to a head, creating shortages that, while we may not feel them now, loom in our near future. It's a sobering thought, forcing us to confront a reality that could, at any moment, redefine normalcy. It's not a plea for panic, but a call to action. Knowledge is power, and awareness is the first step towards preparedness. In the wake of turmoil across the globe, change is the only constant. With the rising sun comes the realization that the world as we know it is not invincible. It's a humbling thought, especially when you find yourself gazing at an empty shelf in the grocery store, where corn used to be plentiful. Yes, corn, the golden grain that adorns our dinner tables in countless ways, the underlying base for an enormous array of products. The sweet corn on the cob, the popcorn for your movie nights, the cornflakes that fuel your morning, and even the feed that nourishes the livestock, all trace their origins back to this humble grain. It's fascinating how interconnected we are in the global chain of supply and demand. Ukraine, a critical provider of corn, is embroiled in a war, the ripples of which are bound to reach our shores. The forecasted scarcity is a sobering reminder of the harsh realities outside our immediate sphere. But it's also an opportunity to adapt, to prepare, and to become more self-reliant. As an average adult, you consume about 1,000 pounds of corn annually, both directly and indirectly. With the impending shortage, it's prudent to consider buying and storing about 200 pounds per person for the next 6 months. How you store it is just as important. Ensure it's in a cool, dry place to maintain its quality, preventing moisture buildup that could lead to mold growth. The war's impact doesn't end with corn. It's a domino effect. And next in line are wheat products. Ukraine, coupled with Russia, produces nearly a fifth of the world's cereal grains. This might not seem significant until you consider that this affects your morning toast, your favorite pasta, the flour that you diligently use for baking, and a host of other staples. To put it in perspective, an average person consumes around 130 pounds of wheat annually. So, a 6-month contingency plan would necessitate about 65 pounds per person. Storage is key here too. Make sure it's in a dry, ventilated area to prevent any mold growth. As we traverse this journey of preparedness, our next stop is vegetable oils. A key component in our kitchens, their anticipated shortage is due to a cocktail of factors. The ceasing of exports by Indonesia and the global droughts impacting the production of sunflower oil, canola oil, soybean oil, and palm oil are significant contributors. Given that an average person consumes around 53 pounds of oil per year, a 6-month stockpile would translate to approximately 27 pounds per person. Storing it right is critical here. Ensure it's in a cool, dark place to prevent rancidity. Let's not forget about our youngest family members, the infants who rely on baby formula. It's a vital commodity for countless households, and it's currently in short supply due to various factors like recalls and labor shortages. If your family is dependent on it, stocking a 4 to 6 month supply is advisable. This amounts to around 34 cans, 12.5 ounces each for 4 months, or 51 cans for 6 months, assuming the average consumption of a baby. Make sure to check the expiry dates while buying in bulk. Moving on to the finer things in life, we have champagne. The sparkling indulgence has seen a surge in demand, leading to a mismatch between supply and demand. Add to it the production limitations set by the French regulatory body, and you have a potential shortage. If you're someone who appreciates a good glass of bubbly, it might be wise to stash a case or two for the days ahead. Attention pet owners, it's crucial to recognize that the ongoing global shifts can also affect your beloved furry companions. In particular, there is currently an aluminum shortage that may impact the availability of canned pet food. Given that an average cat consumes approximately 200 cans of 5.5 ounces each within a span of 6 months, and a medium-sized dog would require around 400 cans, it would be wise to prepare in advance by stocking up according to your pet's needs. However, it is important to note that you should always keep an eye on the expiration dates to ensure the freshness and quality of the food. Now, let's shift our focus to the meat lovers among us. It seems that beef is potentially facing scarcity due to a combination of factors such as droughts and rising feed costs. If beef plays a significant role in your diet, it is worth considering alternative measures. One option could be purchasing half a cow, which typically yields about 200 to 240 pounds of meat. This quantity would be sufficient to comfortably feed a family of 4 for approximately 6 months, depending on your consumption patterns. However, it is essential to be mindful of proper storage practices, as well as ensuring that you have adequate freezer space to accommodate the bulk purchase. On the greener side of things, lettuce, a staple in salads, might become scarce due to unseasonable warm weather and plant diseases. But stocking fresh lettuce isn't feasible due to its short shelf life. A viable alternative would be growing your own lettuce at home. It's easier than you think, and it's a step towards sustainability. Beer enthusiasts, listen up! The anticipated beer shortage isn't due to a lack of ingredients, but rather the materials used for carbonating and packaging the drink. Learning how to homebrew could not only ensure a steady supply, but might also turn into a rewarding hobby. It's all about adapting, right? Finally, number 10. For those with a sweet tooth for citrus, the orange shortage is bound to hit hard. Weather disturbances and a plant disease called citrus greening are seriously affecting the orange crop in Florida. Freezing oranges or canning orange juice could be an effective way to ride this shortage out. For a 6-month period, aim for at least 90 pounds per person. It's always wise to remember that these guidelines should be seen as flexible suggestions rather than rigid rules. Each individual or family has unique needs, dietary preferences, and available storage space, so it's important to adjust accordingly. Additionally, not all types of food can be stored for extended periods, and taking precautions to prevent spoilage is crucial. By keeping these factors in mind, we can effectively navigate the expected shortages while minimizing waste and maximizing resourcefulness. When faced with scarcity, it's essential to recognize that it doesn't have to result in personal hardship. Instead, it can be viewed as an opportunity for adaptation and growth, fostering resilience and self-sufficiency. A shortage can prompt us to reevaluate our consumption patterns, prompting reflection on distinguishing between our needs and wants. It also encourages us to explore alternative and sustainable solutions to mitigate the impact of scarcity. To make the most of such circumstances, it's important to equip yourself with knowledge and stay informed about food storage, preservation techniques, and alternative food sources. By actively planning and preparing, you can better face the challenges ahead. By embracing this mindset, we can effectively tackle the uncertainties of the future, as the ability to adapt and be prepared today ensures a stronger position tomorrow.